Sunil Saraf, who happens to be a governor, a past governor from District 3240 only. And also I cordially welcome the Council of Governors of 3240, incoming assistant governors, and the district secretariat members, and also the water team of 3240 2021. Friends, as I have said earlier, that Rotary India is looking in a very bigger way next year with a water mission. The subject is relatively new to us, unless until any of us work in this field much have idea about this subject. So I thought of getting the master man today in this meeting so that he can brief us about the concept of this project, or the mission. Rather, it is not a project, rather it's a mission, and also the responsibilities that we need to take over next year as a leader of our respective roles. So I requested the national chair, past Governor Ranjan ji, and Ranjan ji has kind enough to accept our request, and he has given his time here today. First half an hour, we will have a concise meeting with the assistant governor, the district team. And then second half, the president will join and we will have a bigger meeting with the bigger crowd. So I am not giving a complete introduction of Ranjan Dhingra, because that would be done when the bigger crowd is there. Only I can tell you in short that past Governor Ranjan ji is a Rotarian from Rotary Club of Delhi Central, 3011. In Rotary since 1983. Was governor of his district to 1999 and 2000. Probably he is the batchmate of our district's late governor, Dr. P.K. Barua. And he is known in Rotary world as a waterman. And we are having Ranjanji among us today, and I would request him just to brief us the concept of these things and the responsibilities, as I mentioned. And after he speaks, then after whatever the AGs, I'm sure AG will have a lot of queries, a lot of questions. Please feel free to ask him. This is an opportunity. It's a dedicated hours for 3240. You will not get much time like that because he is a busy man these days. So take the full opportunity, get your all queries clear up, and then we look forward 2021. With these words, I welcome Ranjanji once again in this virtual meeting of 30 to 40. And please take over, Ranjanji. Thank you so much.
The best part I liked was that the batchmate of P.K. Barua, believe me, he's no more, I understand. And the batchmates always remember and also have a different nostalgic memories. Well, I also happen to be the batchmate of Shekhar Mehta, our president nominee. And well, before I start and take up the matter on our water mission, let me just also acknowledge the presence of your governor nominee, Dr. Mohan Shyam. Dr. Mohan, I just came to know you are the child specialist, and Devashish also happens to be the child specialist, I come to know. And of course, the most eligible one is sitting in between both of you. But today's time, which is the most testing time, I always say, because of COVID 2019, that the doctors are regarded as truly the gods. They are saving us. Thank you very much for taking care of each one of us, both of all the doctors and the paramedical persons. And I understand we also have amongst us the past district governor Arjit, who is the zonal sanitation coordinator, right, Arjit? And of course, last but not the least, my kind of right hand in your district, our own water coordinator, Sunil Saraf. Sunil, thank you very much for being here and giving me moral support, you know, when I present my case, which you're going to do anyway in future and take the lead along. Of course, I'm so pleased to know that you also have in the meantime your district water chair, past President PD Chaudhary, a very senior Rotarian, as I understand. We are proud to have him. If I could see his face, that would be nice. Otherwise, maybe he's somewhere around. And we look for, and we have really great expectations from you, Chaudhary Sahab. I'm sure Sunil will be able to inform you and talk to you about what are the different steps involved in it. Okay, with these words, let me get back to one thing. I always thought, once we have been put under this lockdown situation, that all of us will have some time, not only time, a very quality time with our family members, talking to them, discussing with them, and even playing sometime with the grandchildren. But it looks like Subhashis are also confirmed, that we are more busier than ever before. You know why? The reason is that every time, whenever we used to attend such seminars or intercity meets or such kind of training meets, we had lots of excuses to say. Traffic jam, I had a different meeting in between, I could not come out of some family appointment, so on and so forth. But fortunately enough, or unfortunately enough, we have no such excuses with us. So it means our senior leadership in the country has seen this as a big opportunity for all of us to come along and do the things which we never thought about it. Thank you very much once again for inviting me to be part of your this discussion on water mission. Yes, the most important ones above all are none other than the AGs and district team members. I always say the AGs are none, and a district team along are the ears and eyes of the governor. And they have to be very vigilant enough, perfect enough, and to go along with different kinds of programs in the district. The AGs and the district team members, you must have gone through your seminar, I'm sure about it, but I would like to draw your attention to three important issues before I take up the final one. That you are the ones who always assist in developing district goals. It means any mission which gets into it will have a district goal. I'll come back to you later on, so that this is one of the prime responsibility of the role where you are involved with. Second one is the encourage clubs to be innovative with their projects and activities. When I say with the projects and activities, it clearly means that fortunately, as I understand now, we got 8 different missions in the country, led by, given by our president nominee, Shekhar Mehta. So all these projects and activities will put you really into a lot of work. And this is your second prime job or responsibility, so that you could have innovative ideas to inculcate all such information. The third will be the follow-up during the year and assess the program, the progress of all the presidents in the clubs towards achieving the goals. So we start with the goal, we end up with the goal, so that everybody achieves the goals, and it is only possible, we may say 101 things, but it is only possible because of your support, help, and cooperation. So thank you very much once again for being with us here today. Now, friends, let me come back to the mission as such. Water is the driving force of all nature. And I'll start with a short PowerPoint presentation to all of you. Sudeep, are you doing it or I'm doing it? Let me see. Sorry, give me 1 minute, please. I share the screen. You have to give me 1 minute, please. Okay, I get it. Sorry. Are you able to see it? Friends, are you able to see it?
No.
Not yet, Ranjanji.
Okay, okay. Maybe you're not seeing the sign of the share screen. One second.
At the bottom, in the center, you should have that green color box.
Or you can even do Alt S.
Sudeep, are you there?
Yeah, Sudeep is there.
Sudeep can also launch it if there is some difficulty in it. He can do it.
Sure.
Sudeep, are you able to do it?
Yeah.
Sudeep,
One second, sir. Hopefully not. Are you able to see it?
Yes.
yes, now it is coming. Now it's
Wonderful. Sorry, it takes some time. I'm not that used to it. It takes some, but you're able to see something, right?
Yes.
Of course.
So this is, okay, this is the Rotary India Water Mission 2020-2025. You may ask me, why did you have for 5 years? Well, I'll get back to you on this subject a little later because this has some special meaning in it. Now, before I start with the Rotary India Water Mission, let me just explain you two very important things. You know, way back in the year 2003, we had this presidential conference at Vigyan Bhavan, Delhi, which was the chief guest of that function was none other than our then President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam. And Sushil Gupta ji happened to be the director at that point of time, and he was the convener and I was the chairman. At that point of time, we had the Delhi Declaration. It was specifically in water management. So you can see the importance of water in Rotary going way back to 2004-3, and today is 2020. We are again reinventing the whole thing. We had the Delhi Declaration, and the Delhi Declaration talked about having a trust on Rotary India. So we started with the Rotary India Water Trust, which I'll just show you the next picture. You see on the right-hand side, Sushil Gupta ji and Abdul Kalam. I'm somewhere in between. And this was the Delhi Declaration there. So we started this in 2004. And the very first project was just to conserve water and manage water, nothing else. So between 2007 and 2019, practically, we had more than 300 check dams made. Because check dams is relevant towards the water conservation and water management. That was the basic idea of the whole thing. Though under the Delhi Declaration, we had many other things, which we'll get back once with the RIWM. And of course, in the year 2007, we also had a kind of technical cooperation with PhD Rural Development Foundation in Delhi. So friends, with this kind of scenario at the back of our mind and the experience we all had, we started with, as I said, till 2019, we completed 300 plus projects, which impacted. The moment you see there has to be impact study made, you know, you come out with the check dams, what happens to the villagers, whether they're maintaining, how much advantage are they getting, what is the crop side they are having. So, you know, what we did, the more than 10 lakh people got benefited out of that. And the 500 plus villages were benefited again. Of course, 35,000 households. And in terms of crops, friends, instead of one crop which they were having way back in 2004-5, within a year's time or 2 years' time, they started having 3 crops in a year. That was the scenario. This is the background. We started with RIWCT. Now, 2019, till the time we came to 2019, the water scarcity is still there. So let's look into some figures into the water scarcity, which is still prevalent. But I always say, you know, the moment you have this kind of scene in India, that 75% of the earth is covered with water. 95% of the earth's water is in the ocean. And what happens, friends? The 3% can only be used for the drinking, only 3%. And you know that our body is made of 5 elements. Panch Tattva. If you see the word Bhagwan, BH means Bhumi, A means Agni, G means Gagan, WA means Vayu, N means Neer. It means water. So water is the 5th element of our body itself, existence itself. So it is nothing but the elixir of life. If you see the next scenario here, what is the cubic meter per year? 2011 we had 1545 and 2025 going to be 1340. Well, 2050 we are only 1140. So it means what? Still there is a big scope of water conservation. So what happened then? With all this precarious scenario, what happens then? Where in September 2019, Shekhar Mehta said, Rotary India Water Conservation Trust is doing so many projects, but still the number is less. It's not reflecting what we people, Rotarians do. You know, in the Rotary India Literacy Mission, it's a big number, and Shekhar believes in big numbers and the output. So he, along with all of us and the experts from the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Water, Central Water Ground Board, Central Water Commission, and everybody around had a big brainstorming. By that time, our executive committee team and the expert team, inclusive of Sudeep, who is with you here, we came out with an acronym. Friends, beautifully said acronym. Like in RIWM, you have TEACH, T-E-A-C-H. Similarly, in this case, we have come out with an acronym. And what that acronym is, I'll just show you the next slide. You see WATER. W is the watershed development, A is awareness, T is the transformation of water bodies, E is the efficient use of water, and R is the rainwater harvesting. In short, water need is always with you. And now coming back to the 2020-2025, why 5 years? Friends, the government of India came out with a campaign, and they said our target of conservation, various fields, various sectors, is for 5 years, 2020-2025. So we said, and Shekhar said, my slogan is, that whatever government of India has got in mind as a target, we'll take up 10% of that. And since it is 5 years, we'll also have for 5 years. That is the meaning of that 5 years, friends. Sorry?
Oh, see.
Okay. Now I touch a little bit on your all the 5 elements. The first one is watershed development. You might, I'm sure some of the experts are sitting in the audience, but here, you know, the friends, I will just try to take up what exactly we mean by watershed development. Watershed development is nothing but to, you know, to increase the capacity to capture the rainwater. Rainwater is in plenty. Only thing we have to capture, we have to store, we have to conserve. That's exactly the meaning of watershed development. And to reduce the soil erosion. Friends, what happens then? What are the different kinds of watershed development we can have in the country? I just take it that. Of different kinds of watershed, I have not come here as a details. This I will take up in the next session. The most common one is a check dam. Check dam, if you see on the left-hand side a picture, before construction of the check dam and after the first rainfall of the check dam construction, you see the greenery and the gray point. That's a difference. It's a big difference, friends. And such type of check dams are to be constructed all over the country. At this point of time, we have more than 5,000 such locations available in different states. And that too, fully, kind of protected or authorized by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. These can all be given to you all wherever you need these check dams to be constructed. Now, I'll come up with the who implements, who does, who is the technical authority, how you get into all these details. All these details can be given. But this I'll explain you in the larger section when we meet Presidents-elect 2. Friends, there is one more thing, one more kind of watershed I can talk about it, that is the Gabion structure. The Gabion structures are the ones which just, takes care of the payables and everything, and this is a short distance we keep it just to take care of the soil erosion and the immediate demand of water. Because otherwise the water flows with the full velocity, we have to reduce that. Now you will ask me, once we have all these different kind of check dams or different kind of Gabion structures, what are the costs involved? And how come we be benefited out of that by constructing? Let's see that. Friends, approximate costs of watershed development projects are like this. Check dams, so you can construct right from rupees 5 lakhs to 50 lakhs. And 5 lakhs, depending on the area you are covering, the total water storage capacity you are having, what happens, whatever water you have under due to this rainwater harvesting, water percolates down and there are aquifers which get recharged. The water flows all over and you have number of bore wells around. The water table in the bore wells come up. What happens then? The moment the bore wells have the water, it means the villagers are happy enough to have that water for drinking purposes. The kettles can also have it. So this is the check dams. Then we have the farm ponds or the tanks. One of the smaller range things, 50,000 to 2 lakhs each. Gabion structures, 1 lakh to 3 lakhs. Like this, up to the earthen bunding, which is the smallest possible, the rupees 10,000 to 2 lakhs. Friends, here I need your support. Rather, the ZWC and DWC will need your support to have these check dams constructed and to find out the locations. We'll give you the location in your area, no doubt about it. We'll give you the implementing agencies too. How to get it, how to get the funding, how to go how to implement the project. We'll inform you everything. But we need your support in getting the clubs identified. Let the clubs take over this. This is the need of the hour. Friends, next we have here the area, the availability of projects along with PhD Rural Development Foundation. You see the entire country's map is given there. I'm not going into that details at the moment. Next, let me just see A. A is awareness or the activism. Friends, the moment we talk about awareness, it means we need to spread around the world that water is the elixir of life. Water has to be conserved. Rainwater has to be protected. How you do it? Friends, the best way of doing all these things is through your Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. Because the moment you have all these objectives in your mind, what does it influence? It influences attitude, behavior, and beliefs to drive action. Well, under this scheme, we have many celebrities who will be also watching for that. I'll explain more into details once we meet the presidents-elect along with you. But here I would only like to say that these are the different activities you can undertake. And the target, I'll see to it later on because I'm not talking about targets here. One simple example, I've brought it here. That is the WhatsApp for awareness. Friends, normally what happens, you can think, okay, fine, I've got so many water related messages. Why can't I do it myself? What we have decided, the central committee will develop all these WhatsApp messages with the logo of RIWM, Rotary India Water Mission, which will be percolated down to ZWCs, in your case, Sunil. And then it goes down together with DWC, the district water chairs, to district governors. And the district governor means then you have the district governor, Subhashish, and then thereafter it will go to the club presidents. That the same message percolates down to the club presidents. Of course, the moment club presidents is the autonomous body, the clubs and the club presidents has to look into the entire scenario and pass it on to the club members. What happens to once the club members have this awareness logos or the WhatsApp messages or the Facebook details, the Twitter details? Of course, the idea is to percolate down further to friends, relatives, and associates all over. Now let's get back to the next one, friends. T. We talked about A, now let's talk about the T. What do we mean by T? T is nothing but transformation of the water bodies. I think we got thousands of water bodies lying defunct in the entire country. There are so many water bodies. If you just look into all these things, decent, you will see the condition of a water body before taking over and after taking it over. There's a big difference. These things all can be taken care of. How this has to be done will be the implementing agency who will support us in all these projects. We have all these details for you. We only need, once again, the clubs to take over and to have the locations around in your district where the water bodies can be converted into or transformed into a location which is like this on the right hand side. Now let's look into the next one, friends. The cost of transformation. Everything has a cost. Depends on the following. Of course, the more bigger or the larger the body, the cost will also be accordingly. And the depth of the water body. Sometimes there are very shallow kind of water bodies we have. And most of the time I've seen the water bodies are quite, they're very much in deep. And how much solid waste constituents or the liquid waste has gone into the water body. What is the cost involvement? We use normally the JCBs, etc., and the vegetation along. Friends, lake transformation about 25 acres. Chennai is the one which has got, I think, most of the water bodies in that southern range. And we are at the moment contemplating to transform a water body of almost 250 acres of land. This will be started very soon. So here we have given the cost about 25 acres, rupees 1 lakh to 2 lakhs per acre. Pond transformation, it cannot be lake. If somewhere you may have just a small pond kind construction, that will be rupees 2 to 5 lakhs per acre. And Bawdis, I don't know about Bawdis in your area, I have no idea at the moment, but Bawdis are quite popular in Rajasthan in these areas. These are nothing but step wells, and the cost is about 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Friends, the next one, if I see here, the rainwater harvesting. The most commonly used, and rainwater harvesting is both for urban as well as rural. Let's take up the matter first, the rural ones. What happens? In the case of rurals, it's basically to conserve, not to store. You got all these roofs. They have simple arrangement of the pipes, and through the filters, it goes down into the aquifers, and the aquifers further, get recharged. That's the conservation policy and the principle. And the further it goes away towards the bore wells, say it's a smaller, let me put it this way, a smaller version of a check dam made it by the people themselves. So friends, if you see here the storage of the groundwater, you can have it, or recharge of the groundwater. That's a rural portion. And if you see the urban ones we are quite popular with, we are quite familiar with. You got these buildings and you got the community, the schools, institutions area, even your office complexes, factory complexes, malls, etc., etc., etc. These all can be converted and we put into this kind of concept of rainwater harvesting. Different costs involved, and we have different targets for that. Let me just talk to you about this. Friends, again, if I see the single unit house of 300 square meters, that's a cost, 2,000 to 30,000. And if in the housing society complex, 4,000 square meters is the covered area, rupees 9 lakhs. Schools, 2,000 square meters, 2.5 to 3 lakhs. Industrial complexes, 3,000 square meters, around to rupees 5 lakhs. These are the things which we have in our mind. Again here, the implementing agencies and the funding, support, all these can be taken care of once we go into the details. Of course, Sunil has got all the details which are required. Let's see, friends, the targets for each district we have got, each year. Though we have got a 5 years, each year we must have a target of individual district. It doesn't mean that you need to have all the 5 elements in one go. Depends on location, depends on requirement, depends on funding availability. You can see whichever one is applicable to you all. Under the watersheds, we got about 50 watershed structures. Anytime. Check dams, gabion structures, etc., etc. And awareness, when we say you must reach 2.5 million people in that year. How you can reach? Reach to, as I said before, WhatsApp, Twitters, Facebooks, and with the projects you already do which benefit the members or the villagers or the urban people. Third one is transformation. We need 50 lakes or ponds or boundaries to be transformed. And then E, when I say, sorry, I think I missed out E in between, never mind. Efficient use of water, E. It is nothing but, friends, we have 2 kinds of things here, reduce and recycle. How can you reduce the consumption of water? So we have got an aerator system with us, which we need to be installed in various households. One household has got about, let's say, washrooms, you got your sinks. So that's about, let's say, 5 to 10 such aerators can be used, where the flow of the water gets reduced and checked. So we have a target of about 12,500 households. And similarly, in the case of rural, the agriculture, according to me, we may talk about all these reductions. Agriculture is about 80% water consumption goes into the agriculture. And that's where a lot of wastage is there. If you're able to control that, in your area, Brahmaputra is the biggest example. So we need to talk about that also in details, but not today, maybe sometime next. Brahmaputra is a special reference in our water conservation. And here we have got a target of about 75 drip or micro irrigation systems. I would only like to say here, the micro irrigation system or the drip irrigation systems, we have a special relationship with Phenolux. They will give you all assistance. And the recycle. What do you mean by recycle, friends? It's a recycle of the gray water. At home we got ROs, we got the water coming out of our washrooms and all that. This is what is known as gray water. And then we need to convert this gray water into useful or the potable water. Potable not in the drinking sense, whatever in the sense that it has to be used for the horticulture or car washing, etc., etc., etc. So we need to have recycled grey water in 25 sites. And the rainwater harvesting, friends, we just got a minimal, that is 250 projects. So this is what we have with us in short. These are our channel partners. Coca-Cola is ready to match your 1:1. Tata Trust will also match 1:1. World Vision we have, Finolex we have, Sulabh, Neoparel, all these different kinds of channel partners who are ready to support you both in implementation, technology, as well as in funding. At the end, I would like to just say one thing. The US assistant governors and the district team. I mean, you have to work in cohesion and you have to work in a way that everybody sees to it that the targets are achieved. And targets can only be achieved if you all take care of it and have a kind of understanding of the entire, all the elements, all the verticals, which we'll do our best to get into that. Today is just introduction. Sunil is there and Chaudhary Sahib is there. They will take care of it. And I'm sure if required, we'll also come once the lockdown is over. At the end, I can only say one thing. Let us kindle the spark within to look beyond ourselves, to be the inspiration in making a difference. How? Making a difference by getting more of water conservation, by acting with consistency, credibility, and continuity. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for being a patient listener. I remove the screen.
Sure. Thank you, Ranjanji. I think you have given a detailed description about the mission's target and the way of work that the mission is looking for in coming years and down the line, next 5 years. And I'm sure the assistant governor team and the district team has gotten shape where we are looking forward for this water mission. The assistant governors and district team, I am sure you have a couple of questions. Keep ready your questions with you. We'll be having we are making a small change. We'll be having a question answer session at the end along with the president-elects. But definitely assistant governors will be given preference for their questions. So keep up with your questions and you can send it me in person also so that I can know who is asking questions. And meantime, Ranjanji, our president-elects are all in the waiting room.
Oh,
they have logged in. Okay. I would request Danny to go ahead and kindly switch on the waiting room so that president-elects can come inside. And keep everyone muted. You know, we'll be having a bigger crowd now. So there is a possibility of bigger noise. Welcome all my president-elects to this digital meeting. It's a warm welcome to you all. Have our guest already with us. We have the district team and the assistant governor with us. One thing before we start, I just let my all president-elect know the ground rule of this virtual meeting. Put yourself in mute. Put yourself in mute whenever you are not talking. When you need to talk, you raise your hand, unmute yourself, speak, and again put back yourself in mute, so that the speaker who is speaking, he should not be facing any challenge of side noise, something like that. Thank you very much for your understanding. So, Ranjanji, I think I have around 35 president-elects has already joined. So I'm sure in next couple of minutes, we will be having more president-elects to join. So we'll just have a question answer session casually. If we have, we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes, then we can go with the formal meetings.
Take your time, take your time. I also take pleasure in welcoming each and every president-elect of your district. Indeed, my pleasure and privilege to be with you.
Also, I welcome all the past governors. I can see my district trainer, past governor Chandu Agarwal has joined. Welcome, Chandu, and also the other Council of Governors. And I would request past governor Sunil Saraf, the zonal coordinator for Rotary India Water Mission for 3240, kindly formally introduce past governor Ranjan Dhingra, the chairman for Rotary India Water Mission. Sunil ji, please.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Subsidies. Welcome, Chairman Ranjan Dhingra ji and a very capable National Committee member, Sudeep Kohili ji from Delhi, all the assistant governors of 2021, the district team, a special welcome to PD Chaudhary from Guwahati South, who is the chair for the district water committee, all the president-elects, senior Rotarians, the governor nominee Dr. Mohan Shyam Kaur. It's my privilege to share with you briefly about Rotarian Ranjan Dhingra ji. He has been a Rotarian, I believe, for the last 38 years. It's a long time, almost 4 decades. He joined the Rotary Club of Delhi Central way back in 1983. And after around 11-12 years, in the year 94-95, he served as the president of the club. Thereafter, he became the governor in 1999-2000, and as Subhasis in his earlier remarks said, he was the batchmate of our very beloved late Dr. Pranab Barua from Dibrugarh, who is now no more. And he is also the batchmate of world leader, the incoming world president, Rotary world president, RIWM Shekhar Mehta ji. He, once he joined Rotary, once he became, after his governorship, he, forced ahead to greet the opportunities awaiting Rotary in the new millennium. He has held many coveted assignments in Rotary years from 2001 and has also served as a zonal coordinator for water. There is a history of this mission. He was, previously the chairman of the RI President Celebration on Water Management in Delhi many years ago, almost 17 years ago, in December 2003, where the chief guest was the then Honorable President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, under the guidance of the then RI President Jonathan Maijibe. Rotarian Ranjan Dhingra ji was the president of the Rotary India Water Conservation Trust, which was formed subsequently in 2004 by the initiative of past Rotary International Director Sushil Gupta ji, again from Delhi. And that trust has now launched the Rotary India Water Mission. This trust, when it was working actively under the leadership of Sushil Gupta ji, implemented 106 rainwater harvesting structures, mainly the check dams in India, especially in the North India. This RWH structures have impacted, numerically it has impacted approximately 6 lakh people in the water deficient areas of India. These have changed the demographic position of the region due to the extra crops in the year and the stoppage of migration of the population from the rural to urban areas. Where previously there used to be one crop, after this check dams were built, the farmers, they were successful in having 3 crops in a year. On November 8th last year, 2019, with the initiative of Shekharji, RIPN Shekhar Mehta ji, the Rotary India Water Mission was launched. There was a water summit at Delhi, and there it was launched. And Ranjanji, because of his commitment and because of his vast experience, was given the responsibility to chair this mission. This mission now has been structured very nicely. It has now 12 zonal water coordinators to cover the 38 districts of India and Nepal and Bhutan. And it has 7 executive committee members who are to be the think tank, the brain, the spinal cord of this mission from all over the country to accomplish the task of water projects on a pan-India basis. Ranjanji is an engineer and MBA by profession, and he's the managing director of a multinational company by the name of Messrs. Laron Group, and he has a huge experience in the corporate world also. He is the chairman of the Rotary India Water Mission, which is going to be instrumental in implementing the targets of the mission in the next 5 years up to 2025, in sync with the targets of the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. Since 2018, under the guidance of RIWM Sushil Gupta ji, he is also engaged in Narok country of Kenya to set up a check dam, besides extending all possible support to the local bodies in water related projects. This is very briefly about Ranjan Dhingra ji, who is, a very suave and a graceful Rotarian. And my first, the impact that he created in my mind was when I saw him at this, when I met him in the International Assembly, my International Assembly in the year 2017. There he was for 5 to 6 days. He was serving as a sergeant at arms. So ready to accept all kinds of challenges. He's a very committed Rotarian, a very fine gentleman. I feel once again privileged to present before all of you Ranjan Dhingra ji. You can feel that he is physically present amongst us in this virtual meeting, and please join hands with me to welcome him to our district. Thank you.
Thank you, past Governor Sunil ji, for giving a brief introduction of Ranjan ji. And I'm sure you have covered Ranjan ji's all major points that people has an idea about this gentleman who has dedicated his life for Rotary, and especially now in water management. I would, with these words, I would request Ranjan ji to kindly take over and just address the president-elects who are the key man for 2021 in District 3240. And I also request you to take some questions if they have at the end of your presentation. Thank you very much, Ranjan ji. Take over.
Indeed, pleasure and privilege once again to be part of. I was a part of your AGs a little while ago. Now I'm part of the very important people of the district. The people who are, I always call as Karta Dhartas, the presidents elect. Presidents elect, once they are motivated, they get into the challenges of achieving the targets. Thank you very much, Sunil, for introducing me so eloquently on this, well, which I never thought, and the way you express the feelings. Thank you very much. And I also see that you have past district governor Chanduji, the one who has just joined us. Chanduji, also relationship we know since a number of years. Thank you very much for being part of this show. And of course, I need not acknowledge once again other past district governors or the assistant governors or the district team members to be here. But Governor-elect Subhashish, a big thank you to you for inviting me to be part of your real team members. Those are none other than presidents-elect. And they've been asked during the days, and then to the final hour of the day, to talk about the water mission. I will start with the presentation and give you the 2-3 minutes before I take up. I'm sharing.
Yeah, it's slowly coming up, Ranjanji.
Wonderful. 1 second.
Yeah, it has come up.
Okay. Friends, let's look into the purpose of the water mission today. And the water mission is nothing but to conserve and to manage the water. So once again, a big thank you to all of you for inviting me to be part of you today and to talk about and discuss about and to look into the challenging targets of water in your district. Before I take up the PPT as such, let me just tell each one of you that you are here to serve as a catalyst for solving the water problem in the country. You start in your district, adds up into the different other districts together, and the whole country has a water solution to it. And the mission, the Rotary's mission, works towards sense as everybody's business by disseminating knowledge about water conservation technique, including the traditional ones. And friends, last but not the least, we are a body of all Rotarians in India, united by the goal of achieving total water conservation and management with one all-round comprehensive and holistic program. I'll come to that a little later. What is that comprehensive holistic program you're talking about? Friends, you know that water is the elixir of life. And I always say it's the most common chemical compound on earth, the life sustainer. And I talked during the ages time also that our body is made of Panch Tattva, the 5 elements. And the 5 elements can all be remembered very nicely and quickly if you always remember a word called Bhagavan. BH is the first one, is nothing but Bhumi, the ground. A is Agni, the fire. G is the Gagan, the sky. W is Vayu, the air. N is the Neer, is water. So it means the Neer or the water happens to be the 5th element of elixir. So it means we need to preserve. Why should we need to preserve? What is the reason for that? Let's look into some statistics of that. 75% of the earth is covered with water, and 95% of the earth water is in the ocean. And once we go to this ocean, we always say, water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. But now we have the technologies to recycle the water too, but it's very expensive. And friends, only 3% can be used for drinking. And without water, we cannot live. So friends, so we have to preserve, we have to conserve 3% of their water. Sorry, I missed somewhere. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, Ranjanji, we can see your blue.
Can you see the slide? I cannot see the slide.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, we can see. We can see your slides.
1 second. 1 second.
Water everywhere, 75%. That slides we can see. Now it has gone to. Now it has gone to Microsoft. Yeah, the beginning first page has come.
Okay. Sorry, sometimes I get into little difficulty with this thing, but nevertheless. Yeah. Sunil talked about Rotary India Water Conservation Trust. Just a little bit, one slide on that. The Rotary India Water Conservation Trust came into being in the year 2004 under the guidance of then Director Sushil Gupta. And friends, till date, though in my biography you talked about 106 check dams, till date, before the start of Rotary India Water Mission, we have constructed more than 300 plus projects, which has impacted the lives of 10 lakh people and extended the benefits to 500 plus villages. Of course, once we are villages, then naturally the households have to be there. About 35,000 households got benefited out of it. And in the budget also you read about, instead of one crop, we have 3 crops in every village. Friends, that is the impact study we are talking about. If we have with 300 check dams, the benefit, impact, getting onto the villages and the households, you can well imagine with all your constructive support, with all your participation, how much benefit the villages or even the urban people are going to be going to achieve on this. So let me now talk about a little bit about the purpose of this and a little bit more on the statistics that the water is scarce. Why water is scarce? Friends, you see here the 21 current scenario when we talk about 21 cities of India are almost out of groundwater and 100 million urban populations facing water scarcity and about 500 million persons in rural India are facing water shortages. If this kind of scenario we have in front of us, there's only one solution, friends. That is just to conserve and manage it beautifully. Just one more slide on this. In the year 2011, we had a per capita water availability about 1,545 cubic meter. And 2025, we are anticipating 1,340. And once we cross 2050, maybe earlier than that, it will be not more than 1,000 or 1,100 cubic meter per year. That is the kind of scaring scenario we all have today at the moment. And friends, I am reminded of Rahman's Doha. He talked about it. He said, Rahman pani rakhiye, bin pani sab soon. Pani gaye na ubre, modi manas chur. So it means you have to take care of water every time you use it. So it means we Rotarians know how to do our job perfectly, diligently. I'm not talking about this scenario now at the moment. Let's get back to the water mission. That's how we are here for today. In the year 2019, 11th of September, the current Rotary International President nominee Shekhar Mehta looked into the entire scenario of Rotary India Water Conservation Trust. He said, we have the Rotary India Literacy Mission with us. But what about water mission? We had a brainstorming session with all the experts in the water session, in the water scenario from Rotary World from Ministry of Jal Shakti, Central Groundwater Board, Central Water Commission, all and the various experts in different fields. More than 50 people joined hands together, even inclusive Rajendra Singh ji, who is a waterman, the water warrior in the country. We all had brainstorming together. In the meantime, once the brainstorming was going on, the expert committee team of, well, the Rotarians we were all together with, we came out with an acronym. An acronym is in front of you. Like in Rotary India Literacy Mission, you have TEACH. Again, the 5 elements. T, you know, the training, teachers training, E is the e-learning, etc., etc. Similarly, we have the water. W is the watershed development. A is the awareness. T is the transformation of the water bodies. E is the efficient use of water. R is the rainwater harvesting. If you see this, all these 5 acronyms, all the people concerned were sitting, the experts and experts, they said, Rotary India Mission, Water Mission has covered every little or big aspect of water. Friends, with this in mind, let's talk about individually every vertical, because you are the ones who are going to implement the projects in the district through the help of your club members. So let's see the next one. We talk about the watershed development. What do we mean by the watershed development? Friends, it is basically to increase the capacity to capture the rainwater. You know, how do we get the water? It's basically the rainwater. So we need to take care of the rainwater. When I see the rainwater capacity which is there in the country throughout the year is much more than the required capacity we need. However, since every drop of rainwater is not conserved, not stored, the facility is not available. So what happens? Most of this water goes down the drain, goes into the sea, and we are not able to use it. So here we are, dear friends, we need your support, and it reduces the soil erosion, improves the soil nutrients, and benefits the whole ecosystem. The moment we talk about the ecosystem, I am always reminded of one thing. You know, in the villages, if there is no water, what happens? The cattle die, the crops are not there, the youngster, the youth leave the village, there's a lot of migrants, and what happens then? The whole economy goes down. But with this watershed development structures, the ecosystem is entirely different. The migration rate goes to negligible. Kettles are there to yield more. Friends, all these kinds of things are there. And then you have the schools. Children go to the schools. Friends, the most commonly known watershed development we have is the check dam. Let's see what check dam is. Yeah. Let's talk about the types of watershed check dams first, watershed development first of all. There are 5 different types. One is the check dam, which is the most commonly known. Second is the farm ponds or the tanks. Third is the gabion structures. Fourth is the continuous contours trenches or the staggered trenches. These are used in the hilly areas. And I think your district, you got also certain hilly areas, and these can all be used into those places. And earthen burning. Earthen burning, nothing but, you know, with the velocity of the water flowing, the soil also gets along with, and there's absolutely no water conserved. So you stop the water to be utilized by the agricultural people at there. That is earthen burning. So let's see the picture once again of this check dam. Friends, this is one of the examples known as Joshiwala check dam in Alwar district in Rajasthan. We have this contour here. If you see, the check dam has been built and the area around is totally gray. Totally gray. And after the check dam was built, and we had one rainfall, one rainy season, and you see the conversion on the right-hand side. And friends, this was built way back in 2013-14, and between 6 years, the economy of that place has gone entirely in a different way. The people are having 3 crops instead of 1, and the people have got, I talked to one of the villagers. He used to earn 3,000 rupees a month. Today, he's earning 30,000 rupees a month. That's the kind of driving force, my dear friends, with these check dams. Yes, depends again how big the check dam is, the length of the area you're covering, storage area you're covering. So let's see the objectives of the watershed development. What are the different objectives we are talking about? First one is, of course, the recharging of the groundwater. Whatever water we have in that catchment area, it percolates down. We have the aquifers there, and the aquifers get charged. And what happens from the aquifers getting charged, the water flows towards the bore wells. And the bore wells, the water table comes up. The moment the water table comes up, through the pipes, you can have the water for drinking purposes. And this water can be used for the villages. Imagine with zero water, you got a different kind of water table. You can have that potable water utility. And similarly with the catchment area, you've got a lot of water around. The kettles can use that, drink that, and the yield is far more than any time before. So the second one, we had the production of food or the fodder fuel. We already talked about it. Wildlife preservation, of course. The moment you have more water and the ecosystem goes in a different angle, so the wildlife preservation is anywhere there. Erosion control. I always talk about the soil erosion. Friends, check dams is the biggest thing, is the biggest value added towards the erosion control and prevention of the soil degradation. Next, when we talk about employment generation, how can this be achieved? Friends, we just said there's a big migration issue once the water is depleted. And here with the check dams, the water table comes up, you got a lot of water to drink, and for the kettles, the youth doesn't want to go to the cities again. They stay back. And what happens along with that? You go to schools, colleges, and I've got so many villages today now, during the past 13, 14 years, 16 years, that we have seen the conversion. Even the RIWM has got their teach system applicable. And the last but not the least, friends, around all these facilities, you can have the recreational facilities. And we have got a very big example in Gujarat, in district called Mehsana, where the government of Gujarat spent more than 1 crore rupee to prepare build a check dam. Rotary India Water Conservation Trust spent more than 12 to 15 lakhs. And friends, the entire check dam area out there is converted into a recreational facility also. And we got all kinds of jogging tracks. People are coming here in the evening. So this is the biggest advantage again for the people. Next one, if you see, you may always wonder, what are the different steps involved in watershed development? आपके पास ये तो है, तो steps भी तो involve होने चाहिए construction के लिए. So we have the team with us, which can also be given to you. But I would request you have a very efficient zonal water coordinator, Sunil, along with district water chair, and also maybe request further to appoint the district individual vertical chairs like WATER, so they can be specialized in that particular field of element. So the site selection is done by them, and the resource surveys anywhere there. We have written here, friends, the people's participation. Until unless the villagers participate and own the project, you cannot upkeep it. The sustainability rate goes down. This is where to take care of it. I'm not going into the watershed development project plan because this will be taken in details by your water chairs later on. Treatment of watershed, we already discussed about, friends. It goes down, percolates, and goes to the different bore wells. What is the approximate cost of watershed development project? You may always ask. Okay, fine, you're talking about the check there. What is different kinds of watershed development? What are the cost involvement? Check dam usually is between 5 lakhs to 50 lakhs individually, depending on the length you're covering, the storage of water you have, the catchment area you're covering. And the farm ponds and the tanks, which are very popular in Rajasthan, those areas, is between 50,000 to 2 lakhs. We have to find out in your district, maybe the district water chair and the zonal water chair will look into this aspect to give us more details. Gabion structures. Gabion structures are, friends, all over, and these are not that expensive too, but just to stop the velocity of flow of water and to preserve the rainwater for immediate use of water for the agriculture purposes. And friends, we thought of it as a clay system, but now we are also using here the concrete. It means we have also got the foundation of these gabion structures, which goes down to 4 feet and above about 2 feet to 2.5 feet. Whereas the check dams have height of about 5 to 6 to 7 feet, and the length is, can go from 50 meters, 100 meters to 200 meters. But these gabion structures are just a few feet around. Then you have the continuous contour trenches, so stagger trenches, as I said, you got in your hilly areas too, and these all continuous contours can be made. Earthen bunding, we already talked about it, 10,000 to 2 lakhs. Friends, here you see the picture of the country, entire country, and your area is also there. We got the different projects which we can implement through the PDG Rural Development Foundation. Similarly, in your area, we would request to have similar kind of implementing agencies who can support and help us. But we have the PhD RDF. They'll be pleased to serve you anytime, every time. Let's see, friends, the next one, awareness. What do you mean by awareness? Awareness just to make people aware of the RIWM, the water conservation. And the objective is to inform and educate people about need of water conservation and management. The water literacy, we also talk about it. How to preserve, how to reduce, how to recycle, all kinds of water literacy is there. Rajendra Singh Ji, the water warrior, always talks about that we must respect water. This is the way we can respect water. And it can all be influenced by through their attitude, behavior, beliefs, etc. And friends, to come to this solution of awareness, we have different tools available. What are these tools? I'll just go through little details. Tools are, friends, organize seminars at district level, club level, distribution of brochures, flyers by clubs in the districts, organize rallies. We are very soon going to have rally from Kanyakumari to from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and then also you can have the poster making competitions in the schools, colleges, etc., etc. Then, friends, social media you're quite familiar with, Facebook, then Twitter, and friends, print and electronic media. Yes, this is most important. Nowadays, Times, Republic, CNN, all these channels have a special program on water conservation. Very soon you will see RIWM also getting onto it. So we need your support for your local area, like local newspapers. Next we have, friends, environment, water NGOs, be in touch with them, and community groups. Non-conventional media means you can talk to your railway ticket, the bus tickets, you can have some messages or logo around. Celebrities endorsements, events to be organized along with them. I don't know exactly who the big celebrity around in your area is, but similarly, we can have the area, the specialty from your areas. And of course, friends, the CSR partnerships. Media, I've already talked about it. Corporates are also willing to join hands. And we have corporate from Tatas, Dalmias, they are joining hands with us. So these are the areas you can look into it. And of course, with the local government bodies. Local government bodies will be able to support you in having this kind of hoardings or some kind of write-ups on the bus stands, etc. Now, let's not talk about this more into details. Let's talk about this. The WhatsApp, the most commonly used awareness tool. Friends, whatever you saw here, the Facebook or Twitter messages or giving to the multimedia, etc., 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 the entire material will be given by the central body sitting in, well, here. And if you see in the pyramid, the central percolates down to the ZWCs. Who are the ZWCs? The Zonal Water Coordinator. You have Sunil Saraf. And from there it goes down to the district governor. That's district governor can further distribute to you all. You're responsible for that. And through you, the club members will get benefited of all these logos, all this material. And I'm sure the club members may be also in the water system, one way or the other connected with that. And the club members are requested further to talk to their friends, relatives, associates, wherever this awareness can be made. Because the target is huge. Next one we have, friends, is the transformation of the water bodies. Water bodies, if you see on the left-hand side, we have the barren land with some kind of water there, lot of sludge. And on the right-hand side, if you see the water body which has been transformed after a lot of efforts, a lot of the inputs. And this is the difference between before and after. And we need to have, in southern part of the country, as I said before, we have plenty of these water bodies. In the northern part also, the western part also, we have plenty of these water bodies, which are defunct, which are taken over by the land mafia. So we need to take care of these water bodies, friends. This is not an expensive work. And see here, what are the different types of water bodies we are talking about? One is the lakes. Example is given in Jaipur. Second is the ponds in Andhra Pradesh. Third one is the Bawdis. Bawdis are the steppe. And here is friend example is given of Karnataka. These are the different types of water bodies you can transform in your areas. Yes, the question is, what is the need for this? Because you see the pictures on the right hand side with all this kind of drainage conditions and the channel conditions, sewage dumping, etc., etc. These are the things which call for need for transformation. And in the villages we have seen, most of the villages, there's a lack of sewage and drainage system in the villages. And friends, those are the places you must take out, and with the local authorities, these water bodies can be transformed. If you see the next one, friends, steps of transformation of water bodies. Once again, I will not go much into details because this is the requirement to be fulfilled by our implementing agency, which will be part of your entire project. But we need to use the desilting through the JCBs or dredges. Very soon, Rotary India Water Mission is also looking into having own dredges, which can be lent to various projects in getting the water bodies transformed at the lowest possible costs. Then we have, friends, the benefits. You see the pictures, the benefits are, of course, storage of water, drinking water, recharges, cattle, animals, they get a lot of water, and of course, for the irrigation. The last but not the least, I always say, is the recreational facilities. Nowadays, especially because of COVID-19, 2019, recreational facilities are supposed to be there, but in demand. What are the costs, friends? Again, it depends on area of the water body. As I said in the first session, that in Tamil Nadu, we are going to have more than 250 acres of land or the water body to be transformed. So that is the kind of area we're looking into. But you can also have 1 acre, less than 1 acre, 2 acres, 5 acres, depending on the area availability. And the depth of water body, shallow water or not, solid waste constituents, silting is very important. Of course, the condition of water, whether it's full with chemicals, vegetation, sewage, industrial waste inlet. Friends, if you have to transform a lake above 25 acres, the cost is somewhere around 1 lakh rupee per acre. Just a minute, I'll give you the exact price. 1 lakh to 2 lakhs of rupees. And for the pond transformation, it is between 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs rupees per acre. And step well or the boundary restoration is between 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs rupees. Why so expensive? Because of the step construction and the depth we are going to cover it up. That is the reason of this expense being expensive. Next one, friends, the site identification, technical survey, and implementation. There are various steps into it. Those can be given to you all. And the central team will look into all your requirements. We have the partners with us, PhD Rural Development Foundation and EFI. These are the two major agencies which will support you anytime and every time in getting your projects implemented. Friends, the next one we have is the E. It is known as efficient use of water. Here we are going to touch only two things: reduce and recycle. How can we reduce the use of the water which is being wasted? And how can we do the recycling of the grey water? These are the two things we are going to discuss here, and we'll only touch these two subjects. Let's see. The next one. Reduce consumption of water. You know, you in your household, you got the washrooms, the kitchen sinks, number of such the things available. So we have the aerators. That's the kind of understanding we have. The manufacturers of aerators. What do? They break water flow into fine droplets while using less water, and reduce the splashing while washing hands and dishes. We have seen with these kind of aerators, when you use at home or any other places, like offices, complexes, they conserve up to 90% of water without impacting on the water pressure. The best part of Rotary program is it should be sustainable. All the projects we talked about till are all sustainable. So this is also sustainable and is lasting for more than 5 years. Well, the cost is not much, 30 rupees per tap plus labor. Available in various standards. We have projects for that, we have targets for that. We'll talk to you and show you the reasons, the details on that. Reduce also, we have the consumption of water in the micro irrigation. In the agriculture sector, more than 80% of water is utilized or wasted out of that. A lot is wasted out of that. So we need to make use of micro, drip, and even lift irrigation also. We have not mentioned here lift irrigation. We'll also get into the lift irrigation later on. Friends, sprinkler or the drip irrigation systems are shown here. Let's see the next one. Advantages of these boats. I'm sure you all know about it, but I'll just read out 2 or 3. Suitable for most type of field condition, irrespective what kind of crop you have. Uniform and efficient distribution of water is there, so less wastage. Ease of dispersion of fertilizers. Friends, along with the same pipeline system, the water irrigation, you can also have the fertilizers. So equal distribution, dispersion of fertilizers. Last but not the least is the soil erosion and weed growth is lessened. Normally in any agricultural field, you have a lot of weed. This gets lessened. Let's see the next one, friends. The lift irrigation system we are talking here. And I don't know about in your area, you use this lifting of the water and using it for the different crops. We can also discuss later on once we go into further details. In the case of micro irrigation systems, we have these 2 agencies who are our partners. And we have an MOU with these 2 agencies, and they will support you anywhere, let's say in your district, or anywhere in the country for that matter. One is the Indian Plumbing Association for Aerators. Second was the Finolex Pleasant Industries Private Limited. So these are the 2 agencies we already have with us. If you have more, those are also welcome. Friends, second one I talked about is the reuse or the recycle. Wastewater, what is this wastewater? It's nothing but the grey water coming out of your washrooms, your ROs. These are all grey waters. Friends, you need to recycle and bring it back to a condition that it can be used in your horticulture or for the car washing. And sources of grey water include sinks, showers, baths, washing machines, dishwashers, etc. So let's see, friends, application areas for grey water. Yes, residential houses, complexes, industrial units, commercial complexes, schools, colleges, etc., etc., etc. All these places, if you see, you got the projects available. All these places you can have different kinds of projects, different value of projects can be implemented. And benefits, just read out 2 or 3. Irrigation for agriculture and landscaping, horticulture. Indoor uses such as toilet flushing can also be used there. Reduced load on, it naturally reduces load on municipal water supply. Otherwise, we are using the municipal water for such purposes, which can all be reduced. One second, sir. Yeah. Now, if we can always talk, though we did talk about the aerators for 30 rupees per piece, but how much do they normally cost? Such facilities. Cost per household, we are talking about the Neopril system is approximately 200 rupees. And cost per system of the grey water recycling is estimated to be rupees 150,000 to rupees 200,000 depending on the capacity. And similarly in the drip and micro irrigation, the costs are involved. Friends, implementation partners. PhD is the most universal partner of ours. They are with us since the days of RIWCT. They stay back with us and will support you in all your endeavors in this field. Second one, we have EFI, and the third one we have added on to is Apex Constructions. Friends, they're all ready to support you. We'll give you technical support, implementation support, everything. Next one, friends, we have the last one, the rainwater harvesting. Well, it simply is catching and holding rain where it falls. You can store it underground. You can recharge the underground. In the villages, it's basically the recharging of the underground. so that the bore wells get more water table. I will be hurrying up on the whole thing. What are the different components? These are the components for any rainwater harvesting. I'm sure you all know about it, but still, for sake of it, we are talking about the catchment area has to be taken care of, the storage, delivery ducts, storage reservoirs, extraction devices, filtration devices, and the recharge pit. Pit has to be taken care of. And friends, yesterday I was watching the TV, NDTV or CNN. There the minister and everybody was talking about such kind of rainwater harvesting. And friends, as I said initially also, that very soon we are going to come up with all these media channels and our program will be there, and we'll also come up with various aspects of rainwater harvesting and watershed development. Next one, we have types of rainwater harvesting. Similar to the ones we have already talked about, efficient use, the same things can also be used in the rainwater harvesting, because these are the places which are readily available for your projects. Cost of rainwater, the most important. The single unit house, 300 square meters, about 2,000 to 5,000. Housing unit complex, 4,000 square meters, 9 lakhs rupees. Schools, 2,000 square meters. Once we talk about square meters, this is nothing but the covered area or built up area. It is 2.5 to 3 lakhs. And the industrial use, once we see here, friends, 1 second, is rupees 5 lakhs. That's the cost involvement into the rainwater harvesting. I am not going into the benefits because we all know benefits are plenty, economic benefit, ready availability at the point of consumption, reduces flooding, clogging. Brahmaputra is a special reference in your area. Flooding. We'll discuss, we have a special report on that. We'll also cover it up, not today, sometime next. Where will the projects immediately come from? Of course, at home, offices, factories, schools under RIWM program, through RWAs, the residential welfare agencies. They are all the areas where you can have these projects immediately. And my request is, each one of you, if you do it in your house, offices, complexes, with the support from technical and also different kind of subsidies are available, friends, will achieve something. Now let's see the most important part. Where will the funds come from? Sources of funding. CSR. Of course, we have a special division or the vertical under Rotary India mission, that is CSR, but we also have a special CSR department which will support you in all your water projects. We'll give you the funding from that, but still under preparation. And like I'll talk to you about those partners a little later. But besides the general CSR mission which the Rotary India has got, Water Division has also got a separate thing. Of course, friends, you are very much versed with Rotary Global Grants. Global Grants, you're all experts, I'm sure about it. You need to have the clubs from abroad. And friends, we have the clubs banks with us, which will give it to you for your global grants purposes. Then, of course, the district grants, governor-elect is with you, and I'm sure you must have got some DDF, and 50% of DDF will be given as a district grant. And how much you use it for what vertical, it depends on your ZWC or DWCs. Contributions from philanthropists. Philanthropists, friends, Rashi Birlaji has given a lot of such, and also similarly from different other philanthropists, we are talking to them at the moment. The names will be given to you, and we'll come back with some funding from them too. If you have any such philanthropy in your areas, please come forward. Bring them also into the pool. For everything and anything, whatever project we do, who is the main implementing agency within the Rotary? Friends, that's you. That's the club. That's the president-elect. We need your contribution. Without your contribution, participation, without you being motivated on the system, no project can be implemented. So that's your contribution here. Last but not the least is the government subsidies. Friends, in the case of micro irrigation, we have subsidy to the extent of 90%. All details can be given once we have the projects from all of you. Let's see the financial partnership model we have built up. Club contribution, we need somewhere around up to 25%. Community contribution, for any such project to be maintained properly, they must contribute 10 to 15%. And the sponsors, we just talked about the funding from various agencies, must give you 60%. That is the model we have. We are working on this model, will support you in all your projects. Let's see, I'm not talking about consolidated, friend. This is something for the, let's talk about your district or every district. What is the target we have each year? 50 watershed structures. A, reaching 2.5 million people. T, 50 lakes, ponds, and boweries. Efficient use, reduce consumption, 12,500 households and 75 drip irrigation system to be installed. Recycling of gray area or gray water in about 25 sites. Rainwater harvesting is not much, just 250 projects. That's the target. Friends, you saw Rotary India water missions for 5 years, 2020 to 2025, is basically in pattern, in lean with the Government of India, Ministry of Jal Shakti. They have a project under the Prime Ministership's leadership from 2020 to 2025. They have a range of targets. Rotary India President nominee Shekhar Mehta has a slogan: whatever the Government of India decides to construct or implement or do the service for, we Rotarians in independent missions will do 10% of that. Now I will bring you back to the consolidated target. Government of India has 1 lakh watershed. We have 10,000 watershed structures. Awareness is 50 crores. Government of India has got 500 crores around. Transformation, 10,000 lakes. You can well imagine 1 lakh lane Government of India has got in mind. Efficient use also similarly, rainwater harvesting 50,000 projects, and this is about 5 lakh projects they have in mind. Friends, the expected outcome, I always say, if you combine all these verticals, like in RIWM, will produce 5,000 happy villages. So we need to make villages happy, the people happy. Let's see the channel partners. PhD, we have talked about Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola will match 1-to-1. Whatever you spend, they will match you. UNICEF, technically. Tata Projects, 1-to-1. World Vision has got also some funding for us. Sulabh will join us in technically. Finolex will give us the best possible rates, prices than anywhere else available. New Pearl has also got the lowest possible. Apex Construction, like that. These are our channel partners. Friends, I can only say at the end that make water everybody's business. Ask not what the others can do for you, but ask what you can do for all. Yes, this is a very famous quote from John F. Kennedy. Yes, we can really make a difference to the community by adopting and achieving the targets of water mission through the holistic approach of WATER. And friends, let us kindle the spark We are all here to kindle the spark today and look beyond ourselves, which we are, with the motto of service above self, to be the inspiration in making a difference in the world of water conservation and management by acting with consistency, credibility, and continuity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranjanji. We must applaud the way that you have showed us the Rotary India's mission for days to come. And I'm sure this has given a new thought, new light to the incoming club leaders. They will start thinking what they can do with this water missions. I'm sure in a day one, a lot of president-elects may be thinking that the subject is a little complicated or tough or something like that. I do understand on a day one, you cannot consume the entire piece of this concept. It takes time, but definitely what Ranjanji has ended his speech stating that kindle the spark within. So this meeting should kindle a spark within that we can take it up something with the water mission in days to come. And Ranjanji may not be able to help us every time. Definitely he is there as a superior, but definitely our immediate reach is to Sunil Saraf, who is a zonal coordinator for us, and Sunil is also a composed leader. He can help you, and above and over, Sunil Ranjanji is there and the national committee is there. So we look forward to have something very positive, very constructive in days to come in 3240. And Ranjanji, as a district governor-elect, I can tell you I will put my full focus, full energy to Rotary's water mission to reach our destination. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Subhashish. I'm sure the Sudeep sitting out here will be very happy to have your words.
Thank you so much. And with this, I would just like to bring PD Chaudhary in spotlight. PD Chaudhary, PD, yeah, PD is our waterman for the district. PD is the water chair for District 3240-2021. He belongs from Rotary Club of Guwahati South. And President-elects, look at PD, especially the President-elects from the Bengal part and the Sikkim part. You might not meet PD. And Ranjanji and the national team, please see PD, because I'm sure in days to come, he would be communicating with PD more and more. Thank you so much, PD. And
pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. And with this words, I just unmute two incoming assistant governors. They have some questions. I unmute Ashim, Dr. Ashim Odhikari. Ashim has a question. Ashim, go ahead, ask your question, and Ranjanji would be more than happy to answer your question.
Ranjanji, first thing you must admit, besides you told that Bhagavan resides within our body, but more than 50% is water. More than 50% is water.
Yes.
But about this watershed development projects, do you think that soil erosion prevention will be helped by plantations and forestations, and will it be a part of our water mission, or it is different?
Very rightly asked, Ashim. In fact, I want to say a few words on that, but I skipped it some or the other. Afforestation or plantation, whatever you call it, alongside entire watershed development,
yes,
is part of us. We will support you. However, we have another mission called Rotary India Environment Mission, which has also taken birth 2 days back. And they will be generally looking into the rest of the things. But the projects we are implementing around the area will be taken care of, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashim. We have next question from another incoming Assistant Governor, Dr. Kameshwar Singh Elanbam from Shillong. Kameshwar, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. I was concentrating on the water, WATER. Right away, from this moment onwards, the Rotarians can start acting on the awareness creation part, efficient use of water, and the domestic water discharging component, because these are easily implementable things. In our Meghalaya, we have got a Department of Water Resources and also Department of Soil Conservation. We have a role to get in touch with this and coordinate and collaborate with this department, because when we think about watershed development and the transformation, these are big things which perhaps Rotary per se will be difficult to implement on its own. Some suggestions from you, sir.
Kaveshwar, I think you basically talk about soil erosion areas in Meghalaya, right? If I understood whatever little I could understand from your point of view. And you also talked about the awareness and the efficient use of water. These two things you want to use immediately. Yes, definitely, I couldn't understand the figure, what you have shown here, what is the exact meaning of that. But nevertheless, what I suggest, whatever queries you have with you at the moment, wherever we need our support for in such and such field verticals, we're here to help you out. But let me ask you also to be in touch with Sunil, who is your zonal water coordinator in your area, and be in touch with them for particularly your questions, your area of requirement, right? And maybe then he will pass it on to us, and we'll discuss with the Central Groundwater Board, the Central Water Commission people also, any other further actions to be taken care of. However, area of awareness can be immediately taken care of in whichever field you wish.
So I want to add to this. I want to add to this. There are 2-3 aspects. Your district is typically, northeast. So one aspect that we have is the contour trenches, which will be used very often in the hilly areas. And some peculiar conditions are there because you have more than adequate rainfall in the northeast. So we need to really conserve water more than, it's not an arid area like Rajasthan. It's a totally different topography. So we'll have very peculiar things which will obviously fit into the framework. But I have a special request to all our presidents-elect sitting here. When you're going into Club Central and setting your goals for the incoming year, please do keep in mind all these 5-6 aspects that Ranjan sir has pointed out, by way of, if the watershed check dam does not suit you, a contour trench will be suiting your district. Grey water area, in the urban areas you have rainwater facilities in the buildings, in the societies, but in the rural areas also a small house, the rainwater is always can be harvested there, so that you have floods in the July, August, September period. But then when the rainfall is reduced at that point of time, that keeps charging the ground level. And of course, this particular consolidated things can be taken care of specifically by the local Jal board that you have, the local groundwater authorities that you have. They offer certain local advantages, which, like Ranjan sir said, Sunil Sarafji and Chaudhary ji will be able to guide you in a much better manner as far as local aspects are concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Sudeep, for enlightening this. Friends, anybody has any other question? Else we will just conclude the session because Ranjanji is here for almost 2 hours. So I do not find any hands raised up. PD, do you have any questions as a district chair? Arijit, I will come back to you. PD, do you have any question? No. Okay. So Arijit Endo, the past governor, Arijit Endo has some questions. I have unmuted Arijit.
Hello.
Yeah, Arijit.
Good evening, Ranjan ji.
Good evening. How are you, Arijit?
Hello. I'm good. Hello.
You're one of the very famous and popular water warriors.
It's okay. Because I am very much familiar with these subjects, few of your verticals. So I just want to tell you, because our area, our district will be very new to work with these verticals of this water mission, except very few like your rainwater harvesting. Our district has done in the schools earlier, what I have seen. And then awareness program, yes, we are also expert in that. But regarding these water bodies and watershed, verticals of your water mission, too, that as Rotary and Shudip has already mentioned very rightly, that many of our northeast area, plains area, contour is below the bed level of Brahmaputra. That is a challenge we are facing in maintaining the water bodies. And one issue that very seriously causing challenges to this maintenance of water body is the storage and drainage disposal ultimately to the water body from all inhabitants around. Even in the village, you know, yeah. So these are the challenges. And now I am interested to know from you that you have pointed out in your presentation that already identified 50 water bodies. Is it for our district?
No,
Central Committee has already.
Origin, may I just say that this is the target you have for the year, number one.
That identification we will have to do, or the
identification also, we have a separate paper from that. I'll look into what are the different water bodies available in your district, right? Otherwise, we'll also give you the agency's name who will identify for these water bodies for you, right?
Okay, because
50
we
is
have
the target. 50 is the target.
Okay, because we have water bodies in our area, 200, more than 200 acres to ranging from 200 acres to 20 acres.
Come forward. We'll support you. Implementing agency, technical people, everybody will support you immediately.
And I'm very happy that you mentioned about one thing, the dredging, because if we need to increase our containing capacity of the water bodies, we need to dredge.
Absolutely.
And dredging is my subject because I am still in the advisory committee of the government of Assam for dredging.
Oh, wonderful. I remember, I don't recall the name, but I remember somebody who is a past district governor now in USA, very much doing a great job in Brahmaputra.
Arvind Fukan. Arvind
Fukan. Arvind Fukan is really nice person. He is doing a great job in Brahmaputra.
Right.
And we are in touch with each other also. And we should bring him in somehow. We should bring him in.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much for this presentation. I am really delighted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Past Governor Arijit. PD, I think you wanted to tell something. I have unmuted you. Can you just go ahead and speak whatever you want to say? PD, can you hear us? PD Chaudhary?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Please, quickly.
Can you please hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you for a nice presentation on about two presentations. I think this is a new subject to me. I am sitting at Guwahati right now. I have a small questions to PDG Ranjan Dhingra. During the siege of this corona epidemic, will it be possible to go for implementation field survey or awareness program in the days to come?
Chaudhary ji, I can only say one thing. This letting out or letting in is not in our hands. And it is purely the subject or prerogative of the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. I don't know what he announces tomorrow after 3rd of May is there or not. Limited, if we are able to come out, we'll do it. But as I see it, will be difficult at the moment. Will be difficult. But yesterday I got some message from Ministry of Jal Shakti that during COVID 2019 days itself, they are giving great importance to, through Manrega implementation, the watershed projects of check dams. They are ready to do that. How they will implement, how they will allow us, I have no idea at the moment. We'll be in touch with the ministerial people maybe in a day or two, or maybe on Monday, and let you have those details. Right?
Okay. Thank you, PD, and thank you, Ranjanji, for replying this PD's question. We have one more quick question from one leader from a club, Rotary Club of Karlavili, Jalpaiguri, Arnab Shah. Arnab, quickly go ahead, ask your question. I have unmuted you.
Yeah, okay. So good evening. I hope you can hear me now.
I can hear you. Good evening.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I just had your saw your presentation on behalf of my President-elect Bhaskar Bardhan. It was a very nice presentation, and also that many things has been covered. Few things I'm little aware of, but regarding your watershed development and your transformation of water bodies, do you have any selected any hotspot like the area where it can be developed? Because we belongs to a place called North Bengal, Jalpaiguri. So there, before we start thinking of this project, any hotspot or anything you have identified that okay, in this area this can be developed?
We have a list of 5,000 such locations in the entire country, and I will go through the list once again and see which are the areas covered. If not, we'll discuss with the implementing agencies or the people who are identifying the location along with Ministry of Jal Shakti, let you have the details. If there is any, you will come to know. If not, we'll request you also to be in touch with the local authorities. We'll give you the support who the local authority could be in this case, right? We'll give you the details.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm fine.
Thank you, Arnab. Ranjanji, with this, we have all finished up with all questions, and few questions if afterwards. Definitely, we will channelize with the proper way. Before we finish, I would request past Governor Arijit Endo to kindly present a formal words of gratitude for Ranjanji and for also Rotarian Kohli for spending their valuable time with us and enlightening us with a new subject in Rotary mission for the water management. Thank you so much. Arijit Endo, kindly go ahead, please take over.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Subhashish, our district governor-elect. Before I do the justice to this vote of thanks part, I just want to share with Ranjanji, because you know this my all interest for this type of work is pushing me to ask these, inform these issues. Like Ranjanji, in most of the cities of and the areas of our Assam, being below the control level, being lower than the Brahmaputra, we are suffering from rainwater stagnancy, right? Artificial flooding is happening. And Guwahati, it takes a serious shape where we need to take out the water through pumping to the Brahmaputra from water body. So those are the things we need to keep in our mind, and I think we have to, take the suggestion of the experts to involve different methodology in our water bodies to conserve it and to have a good shape of water bodies in our area. Thank you very much. And with that, once again, on behalf of the district, I am profusely thanking you and expressing our gratitude for this nice presentation, educating our all Rotarian present in this virtual meeting. And I'm sure their enthusiasm will definitely be able to give a successful year for DG Subhashish, achieving the goal he has set for our district on this Rotary India Water Mission. With that, once again, I thank you very much for this presentation. And along with you, I also thank Sudip Kohli, the gentleman who spoke very well about the hill stations. Thank you very much. Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Arjun. Thank you very much.
Thank my Rotarians of my district and the COG members present here in this virtual meeting. And this evening, with this session, we could educate ourselves on this particular issue of Rotary India Water Mission. I believe we'll be working together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, past Governor Arijitendo, for presenting a formal vote of thanks to our two visiting experts on water mission and enlightening us with the subject. With these words, Ranjanji and Sudeepji, we really express our deep sense of gratitude. And as we are meeting it virtually, we are not meeting physically, so we do not have opportunity to shake hands, keeping the physical social distance there. We cannot give anything as a token of our love or appreciation, but definitely in this crisis period, we are sending invisible baskets with full of love, affection, and greetings from District 3240, 3,100 plus Rotarians and the COG governors to you and Sudeepji. Be safe, stay safe, keep healthy, and our regards to you and your family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Subhashi. I can only say one thing at the end, if you allow me.
Sure, please.
My relationship with Sam goes far back. You know, we are in regular touch with, we are doing a lot of work with Indian Oil, Guwahati, Numaligarh Refinery, and all these different places, ONGC, Rudrapur, all these places. And I had 2 or 3 times occasion to be with the people around in Assam and all these places. But now I think with this water mission, I'll have more opportunities to be with you all and discuss in person and maybe join hands in your projects. That's the really thing I'm looking forward to now. Thank you very much for your love and affection you showered on us, me and Sudeep and the entire team of RIWM. We are always ready to help you, support you, and rightly said, let's all stay connected. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to your physical presence in 3240 in days to come. And Sudeep, before we end, I have one small request came from a lot of president-elects and incoming AG. If possible, in a modified way, the presentation which Ranjanji has shared today, so share with us so that I can share with my president-elect so that they have a clear information. And we are having our district training assembly coming up, so we can have a session with PD and Sunil to present this session, presentation in a bigger way with a larger crowd. So if possible, mail me that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ranjanji. Thank you, Sudeep. Thank you so much. Good night and God bless.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, every Rotarian. Good night and stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.